Hello, this is a little demo of a system from Bravo Data Systems in regards to a hardware in the loop project at ultra high responsiveness. So the idea is this is for model-based systems engineering, and it's for hardware in the loop specifically. Applications where you need high responsiveness. And high responsiveness means to me that it's like you have 200 kilohertz loop rates in the processing so that things are highly responsive between the model or parts of the model and say the main machine so that they share data extremely fast and be accurate and they also can do 500 hertz to a Simulink system. So, and that's the idea is you can have both the high responsiveness, but you could also have large payloads shared between these models, as in large double arrays or large integer arrays between each of these machines so that they have extremely good detail and information about what's going on in each location in the model. This is using off-the-shelf networking, and this network can be used for normal traffic as well as model-based systems at low latency at the same time. This is distance flexible between hardware and loop systems. It can be 30 meters to miles between the different parts. Data is also published to a network cache where other machines running R, Rust, Matlab, LabVIEW, Python can all read this at low latency. Okay. So the system works like this. It has, this is for low latency, high data volume publishing. And what we're doing is we use a data source machine here, and we have it connected with a high-speed network that's 25 gigabits. I'm using NVIDIA Rocky V2 to the data sync machine. And this is the data, on the data sync machine, it has a high data buffer cache setup, a cluster, if you will, setup. And then it then allows the cluster, because the data is published to the cluster, it'll drive it to, it can drive to all these different languages at the same time. And they can all read it at low latency and high volume. Okay, so high data volume. And this is what the problem we had. We needed to be able to do this thing because it really helps the model to be much more responsive, fast, and you can handle decisions. So that's what that does. So next is we're going to be reacting. This is also something where we want to react to anomalies. We want to be able to say, okay, the main machine had something happen, or maybe one of the sub-machines had something happen, and we want to be able to have a really good probability that we're going to find everything that occurred and not miss anything. We really don't want to have missing data for unplanned learning events. So we want to have actual, much detail on that as possible and have a system in place that will maximize the information we get so we can make the best decisions and lower the iteration loops so that we can get things done overall in the project faster. So that's the idea. In order to do this, we end up using a product of Genuen called Replica. And this is a distributed, super low latency, real-time, high-speed, end-to-end communication system. So you can have different sensors. Each of these can be basically generating data at high sample rates, over a megahertz per sample per channel, and it'll make a big array. And you can also transfer that data to other machines on the network and be able to then have them basically be able to read that mind and be able to do that so you can have 200 kilohertz processing loops between the two systems so that, again, maximum visibility, maximum speed and responsiveness. But you're actually transferring much bigger packages than you can with some other technologies, much bigger data buffers, if you will. Okay, so in the example, this is a little bit of what this is doing. We have a bunch of data sensors, and each of the nodes have different data sensors, and they'll be able to publish the data to a big buffer. The buffer will then transfer that to all the other nodes, and the other nodes can be controllers, they can be listeners, they can be doing all kinds of different things like, say, a wing, a brake system in an aircraft, engines in an aircraft. All these things can be generating data like crazy, and everything else can read that mind of those things. So everybody knows what the other one's doing, and does it with large amounts of packets plus large amounts of low amounts of latency. Okay, and in this case, where we're using for the demo, I'm going to show you, we're using the LabVIEW APIs for this. You can do it with C and C++ as well. For the demo we're using here, we're using LabVIEW real-time Linux, and we're also using Ubuntu as the two main machines. As others can do it, but it does benefit from having real-time systems that can have better jitter on their clocks. Okay, so this is the idea. This is the proof of concept that was made. And again, we have a node 0 data source, and we have a node 1 data source, data storage. So the Genuen ships the data between the two at ultra low latency and high data volume, and it's distance flexible. And then we get NI Linux and then Ubuntu. And then we have Windows 11 as the control system under the hood that lets me see status of each of them. And it also lets me direct what the simulation should be. So that's what and then you can see the output here going to Python, Rust, Matlab, and Julia at the same time the data is being looked at. So I can basically read the mind of either end, and I can read it at speed and volume. So as far as the software goes here, we've got node 0. Again, he makes a signal generator. He's controlled from the cache, and the cache is set from the control application. And we're using 25 gig networking between the two. 25 gig is the lowest end you can use. It definitely goes higher, and there's good benefits to going higher in network speeds. And then we have the data storage, which basically captures the data coming off the Genuen pipe, if you will, and then that takes the data and puts it into the cache, and the cache is then available to be read from all those other languages at low latency and at high volume. Okay, and really we've done this test, and we've been able to do 500 hertz loop rates, publishing the data to all those other languages at the same time. Hello, this is a little demo of the proof of concept made using Replica by Genuen, and also taking it so that I take the data, the transfers, and I use a high-speed in-memory network cache to make the data much more usable in real time. So in this case, I want to introduce this application that was made. This application is the one that's what's called Windows 11 Command and Control. So he's talking to the two different servers, the two different Linux servers that I have, the Linux real-time server and then the Ubuntu server that I have running in the system behind the scenes. This is talking to them and controlling them. So what I have here is the way this is run is I have on the top here, we see num channels. That's how many channels of data or sensors, number of sensors that I will have running. Each of those sensors is generating data at 2.5 megahertz. And I have a latency, but I configured the latency to be 2 milliseconds. And then I'm using 4 network cache shards this works well with this particular settings for the system. The other part that I think is important to understand is I have different logs that are being kept. I also have a node 1 log where this will actually show me kind of the status of that. This shows me the status of the other node. And then I have a cache status tag, which shows me the overall status of timing for how long things take to post to the cache, and also how long the thing is taking to, how much the queue size is for posting to the cache. The transfer from node 0 to node 1 is in the microseconds range. And then so that's actually a really fast transfer, and that's what supports the 200 kilohertz system. To put it to the cache does slow things down some, but it also makes the data very, very available and easy to get to. And that's the benefit of the cache in practice. And also lets it be published to useful things that can benefit from it. So the other part of this is I have kind of a master log, and that shows me additional information that's useful. But also then node 1 log, this node 1 end, it's made to show me the signal coming off the output. So the gen is generated at node 0, then it transfers to node 1, and then I take it and I push it to the cache, and I pull back from the cache to show this chart here. So it lets me then over here, I can come and generate a signal or command it to generate a signal from that goes to node 0, and then I set up its different parameters, and I can see the data immediately update in the cache from node 1. So it's a transfer. Again, this system it's very much a bi-directional system between the different nodes. I've just configured it for this test so that it transfers from node 0 to node 1 primarily, although it does have some that goes the other way. But that's just strictly a choice on my part as to, whether I want bi-directional transfer or whether I want one directional transfer. So then, so that'll run, and then I'll look at the cache status to see that the timing's fine, and I'll run it. So the idea is I start the program off, and then it automatically transitions so that node 0 and node 1 are ready. And then I'll go over here and issue the message to say go to run, and then go to run on node 1. All that could be easily automated so that everything's completely automated to automatically transition to replica flow, as I call it. And then it runs very reliable after the flow is established and running. Data just is magically kind of just appears, and the other system knows what's going on. They all know the status of everybody. So I'm going to go and start this. I'm going to start this off here, and then you'll see this over here where node 0 goes to ready, and then node 1 is going to go to ready a little bit later. As it goes, there it goes, and then I'm going to hit this top button, hit that button, and now they're transitioning. Each of the servers are transitioning to be online, and you see a little small spike there, but now they're actually transferring data between the two. And if I go to node 1 log and I go over here and say change the square wave, change it to different patterns, I can adjust it to different ones, and then data immediately shows the other side. There's also a counter that I have of the transfer going between node 0 and node 1 that lets me know if there's ever something missed, because every iteration is captured, and I know when that's a problem or when it doesn't transfer. So it's actually quite accurate in the transfer between the two nodes in practice, and for a good amount, and for a fairly long amount of time. I found it to be really reliable. So anyway, that's a little bit about that. So you can see the cache status. Things are running very well. I saw one spike here in the queue. That's again, that's an Ubuntu system deciding to it had something better to do. Is what caused that. But beyond that, you'll see the status is the long it takes the queue to run is 0 or 1, which is actually very good. Again, the system is actually an asynchronous system with heavily queued, but because I keep it so lightly loaded, it's effectively a synchronous system. But that way, I can guarantee I don't miss anything with a queued system. So again, we are using Replica. We are using Replica in a synchronous mode, so that everything is forced to transfer from nodes between the nodes on every at a very high rate of speed. So that's the mode we're using it in. So again, this runs fairly well. You can see on maybe the power of it, being able to share data. This can again share data in multiple nodes. I have the system I have here as a 2-node system, but it easily could have been 3 or 4 or 5 nodes that I was communicating between. It's just the need for me in this proof of concept was just to use 2. So that's just kind of the basics. So I wanted to show this, and basically this is a way to handle high amount of data, low latency, in a hardware in a loop, in a model-based systems engineering type thing, so that between the different systems, everything's very snappy and very much high fidelity between the two systems, and with a large amount of data, large buffers, so that they really do read each other's mind very well. So anyway, if you have a need for this, if this is of interest to you, and you have more data than you know what to do with, and you need to share data among multiple nodes at rate, at speed, please give us a call. We'd love to help with that and to customize these basic ideas to meet that need, to meet your need. Thank you.